I'm checking something right now. Okay. I didn't know if I was going to get on here or not. I thought I'd locked myself outside of my house. And I thought about 30 minutes ago, and I thought, oh, well, I'll have to send the SOS. But no, I got back in pretty quick. And then I was looking to see. I'm trying to check out something. Hi, Peter. How are you? Hi, Debbie Tanner. Debbie Sue. Y'all always seem to come together like Debbie Tanner and then Debbie Sue. Debbie. So I'm going to just start saying, hi, Debbie. Beverly White, how are you? Jessica Howard. I'm glad to see you too, Beverly. I look good. I don't know my face. I've lost weight because of the not eating, but hi, Dee. There's Dee. Cherry Long, all my faithfuls. Y'all are all my faithfuls. JoJo, Mama's in there directing y'all. She didn't feel too hot today, but we all have those days, you know. And I never attribute it to her being 93 because she's just so young at heart. If y'all could be around her, you would understand. She's always ready to go do something. If you're ready, let me kind of give you Mama's rundown so you know about. Hi, Brenda from Canada. Getting a little hoarse in my throat. Dorothy, how are you? Thank you, all of y'all, for these wonderful messages, all those prayers, and all y'all are my followers, and it just keeps getting better and better. I do need more followers, and I would appreciate y'all hooting out and hollering out and trying to get us to the 8,000 mark. I'm at 77, maybe, something like that. But every little bit helps. And but I was going to tell you about Mom. Here is Mom. I've showed y'all this picture before, but I have it here in my desk. And this was Mother. She was absolutely a beautiful, beautiful lady. She worked for Estee Lauder Corporation. She worked in clothing retail. I was in clothing design, interior design. But my grandmother, Mom's mom, I don't have a picture of her right here. I'll go with some pictures one day soon with y'all. My grandmother never said the word shoot. I mean, I can let them rip, y'all. I just tell it like it is, and if I say those other words occasionally, it's just me. Just get used to it. Because I don't mean nothing by it. It's just I grew up on that farm, and all the workers and the men, they cussed all my life, and sometimes they slip out. I imagine y'all too, so don't you get holier than thou on me. I know that, and I say, oh Lord, forgive me. So I think I'm okay. Debbie Sue Mama is gorgeous still. Y'all saw her at the hospital. Hi, Donna G. Now, Donna, that says AAK Miss Book Lover. So I don't know if you want to be called Book Lover or Donna, so we're going to go with Donna for tonight. Now, when my mind changes, it may be hello, Book Lover. I like them both. She was glamorous. Those were I had a studio. Before Glamour Shots was ever Glamour Shots, I had the idea. I was working with the Miss America pageant at that time, and the pageant system at that time. And I had beaded gowns and handmade Jenny Carpenter dresses. She would come and measure the contestants and make these elaborate hand-sewn gowns. I may still have a couple I can show you that was one of the girls. She was so tiny that I kept those two gowns because the beading was just so exquisite. This Jeannie Carpenter, was from Arkansas, and she'd drive down to Texas and measure the girls. But that's when Kelly Cash was Miss America, Johnny Cash's niece, and around that time. And so I decided, well, there's no sense in trying to bring photographers, take the girls to the photographers. Let's bring the photographers to my studio. And I had a cosmetic studio, hair studio. I didn't do hair. I did do cosmetics, of course, yes, for years. Uh, so I had the first, I guess, really the first ideology of glamour shots that there was. And I've got some handsome pictures when I was, well, it was right after I was a model for Dior. Uh, I've got some pictures that they took there at the shop, and I'll try to find those. But Mother and I had some beautiful stills done together, and I'm so proud of them because, you know, Mom's one of those. Oh no, let's not do that. And she's got on a beautiful one of Jenny Carpenter's gowns, and Mom was a knockout. And so that was kind of the interesting idea. So this picture here, I don't think was from the shop. It might have been. If not, I've got some that's less studio-ish, but very high quality back, because that was in 90, 89, 90. You just didn't have cell phones. You had to have an expensive Sony camera or something to do these shots. And so I've still got a lot of the negatives, and I've got a lot of the proofs. So I've got a lot of proofs anyway from my career over working for the notables. Uh, the last notable, and y'all, some of you have heard this before, the last notable that I worked for and broke my heart when she passed away was Corbeth Godsey from the Waltons. She and I'm going to do a show on her like I did about Dodie Goodman, a little better, because I've got more footage and things. And there's a few other shows that I've interviewed people over the years, not thinking I would ever use them. But I had come, let me show you something. I had come onto a box of CDs. Y'all remember these went into the cameras. And I don't know what's on them. I have no idea. So, but it says interview, so it's got to be somebody and something important, or I wouldn't have kept it. So we'll have to go through those and look, and that'll be an interesting road to go down and journey down. And let me see if anybody. Hi, Gary Brunt. From some who went through such traumatic experience, you're looking really good. I'm so pleased for you. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, it was pretty hairy, as they say. DJR, I'm glad you're praying. Honey, pray for me, but pray for this world, because it's getting worse all the time. I'm scared to go out the door, afraid I'm going to get shot. And I don't take Mother out. We don't go to concerts. We don't do anything. My health, even if it got better, I'm not so sure that I would try to tackle going into a symphony hall or a play or something, because they may be somebody just kind of mad at one of the actors, you know, and come in there and you just get your head blown off. I'm not going to risk my mom. So I told her no more. Donna G, I bet your mother was old school retail sales lady who knew how to fit garments. She did. She did, and she taught me everything, and that's why maybe I went on to fashion school, because I remember her mother. She would sew, and she did tatting. Y'all know what tatting is? It's like crochet. I've still got oodles of that stuff. But she crocheted, and when grandmother got older, her eyes got less clear, and she was beautiful like Mother too. I mean, she had that beautiful skin, and the Willow Water, I think, did it all, the Red River. But she would she would make us Africans. You know, at Christmas you get Africans or something. Grandmother always, or pajamas or something. But if you got pajamas, she'd crochet I mean, me being a boy, she'd crochet or tat a piece of lace around the cuffs of my pajamas. and or something like that, or she would wrap an African that she had made. Y'all, I've still got a couple of those. Those Africans were so bright you had to have sunglasses to even go to bed because she would put green and orange and purple and blue, and you open that box and it was just like the Savior had come. Just those lights just come out at you. And but that was grandmother, and she was very eccentric. Uh, she lived in a mobile home that my dad, when mother said last night, if y'all watched it live, I gotta get a drink. Just lemon water with a little cherry juice, and that's it. Um, Gotta get off of anything else. So mother said last night that when her father was killed, he was hauling brick for the ranch, and she said a truck wreck. Well, yes, it was, but he had come through Dallas, and his son was behind him, which is no longer with us either. My mother's the only last one left of all her siblings. She had a brother and a sister. And Aunt Nell died November. She was 90, 91, maybe 91. But Grandpa was hauling those bricks, and he came across a train track on a curve, and there in Dallas in 1962 maybe, and the train hit him, and of course he died. My uncle jumped out and he died in my uncle's arms. But my grandmother was left alone, and she didn't want to upset the apple cart, and then you just didn't do it those days. And of course she could have sued because the arm or the lights or whatever didn't go off to warn my grandpa, and they had the investigation, and she wouldn't sue the company. So I mean, she could have had a lot of money to live on, but she didn't because she was just that kind of person. And so my dad had designed mobile home trailer because he was a builder, my real father, and a rancher. He had designed trailers for this company, mobile homes, and so he got her a specially made mobile home. Well, she lived in that darn home for, I don't know, 40 years, something like that. When we had built them, because my father would build homes and we would live in them a few years and then he'd sell them. They're beautiful homes, great, beautiful hand carved woodwork on the stair rails and all that stuff. So I grew up in a good, always a nice home, brand new. Uh, and my mother, she would buy me really kind of whatever I wanted, but I didn't want much. I liked playing, and it's in my biography. I liked going down that river and getting some sticks and some June bugs, and I'd make mud and play with the June bugs and probably eat dirt and I don't know what all, but that's the way I like doing things. So my grandmother, she would move in that trailer. Hi, Granny Pat. I see you on here. I texted you a while ago. I thought, well, she's probably taking a nap. So, I saw your second message. Hi, everyone. I just woke up from a nap. I know you like a book, Granny Pat, and probably these other gals and guys do too. I'm telling a story, which I don't do as good as you, but grandmother's in the mix tonight. Uh, so she would take, y'all remember those Christmas bows? They were plastic. She was so eccentric. She always like I told you about the pajamas. She tatted lace on my pajamas, my checkered pajamas, or them Africans. But one day I went in her house, and y'all, she had took those little, well, some were big bows that we used to get in a sack. Y'all remember the plastic sacks of bows, and you just peel the back off and stick them on your packages instead of making them and all that. She had took those bows and put them all over the wall, around the window, all down and around by the record player that we used to sing hymns on every Sunday. She was always doing something. Mother's become her, not about the bows. Mother likes to stay busy. She likes to keep her mind busy, and I think that's why she's still with it, because sometimes her mind's better than mine, I think. I think we all have a little set in, and this, but I'm better, y'all. I am better. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. Let me see who's on here. Uh, y'all don't know where I started or where I didn't. Gary Brent, DJ. Let me go up here, y'all. I'm trying. Oh, there's Gary's last. Then Donna G said, I love that old church that she repurposed into a house. Oh, you're talking about Ronnie Claire. Yeah, I designed that. I decorated that church. Also love those carpets she refashioned into coats. Yeah, uh, I got mother one of those coats. I don't think she still has that. Uh, y'all have to stop just a minute. Let me talk to this gal. She knew Corbett designed those coats. It was called Amorous Adventures. And she designed these beautiful coats out of sleigh lap rugs for the old snow sleds. And they were beautifully silk and wool and had pictures. I've got pictures, behind the scene pictures, and one day I'll pull them out. When I do the story on her, I promise Donna G, I'll tell a lot of that. Because Ronnie Claire and I was like gypsies. We'd get in that car, hers or my car, and we would fly down that interstate, and we'd stop at every junk store, every whatever, and you know, people would come up and say, I think I know you. And she'd say, oh, really? She was very elegant, kind of like Corbett was on the Waltons. Oh, really? You look like that woman on the wall. Oh, I do. And she never smiled or nothing. She just, oh, Bill, Bill Jean, let's look at this lamp or something. She just kind of passed it off because she didn't like people making a fuss over her. And so it'll all be in that story. So let's do it that way. DJ says, hi to your precious mama. Granny Gary says, I'm so sad that things have gotten out of control. What happened to empathy? Forget about that. Beverly White, I've got Africans that my great grandmother, my granny, and my mom made. Some of them are beautiful. If you'd have had my grandmother, you'd have had a colorful life. I'll tell you that much. Granny Pat says, she's here. D says, hi, Granny Pat. Beverly White, hi, Granny Pat. Gary Brune, Brunette. That's the way you say it. And then Granny, of course. Hi, everyone. I just woke up from a nap. Do tell. I just knew that's what you were doing. Maybe we can go on live together this next week sometime, Granny Pat. I've got the camera system. I've got it fixed for my end, but we'd have to work on yours. So I'm feeling better. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. Donna G. Hello, Granny Pat. You're loved. Yeah, I love her to death. She's my sidekick. It's funny how she's in Virginia and I'm down here, and I talk to her more than I do a neighbor down the road. Don G, I would have loved your grandmother, but she called herself eccentric Navy. She was a devout Christian. I mean, if there was anybody that's in that place up yonder, it's her. And she'll be welcoming you in because that's just the way she was. Donna, I was in awe of Corbett's talent. I can't wait to see your video on her. There's a memoriam video that I have a copy of. The true Ronnie Claire Edwards, which was Corbett on the Waltons, the true acting and demeanor came a lot from her life. Her dad was a prosecutor in Oklahoma City. And they was I'm going to just tell y'all this to intrigue you to try to watch when I do get this done. Her and her brother, Warren, they was some murderer in Oklahoma City over the oil. Nothing to do with the natives. But her dad was the prosecutor fixing to prosecute that Guy, here's the baby. He came over here. Look at there. You see them kitty. Look, you got one eye, don't you? How Granny Pat see. Tell how Granny Pat loves the kitty. Yeah. Get over here in your chair. Uh, but they'd made threats against those Ronnie Claire and her brother, those kids. And she said they had to have guards walk them to starts with a W, the part of the Oklahoma City, for months because, and she was afraid. She said, maybe that's why I act so well, because I was just living an act as an actor because I didn't want nobody to know I was scared or whatever. So that's a little about it. A little bit about it. Bonnie Allen, hi everyone. I made it. Well, Granny Pat's here. She just woke up from a nap. That cat got hair on my nose, y'all. Now I got that pet vacuum and I vacuum. I've been sick, so I haven't had a chance to. Oh, he hears a bug, y'all. It's in one of these uh, lights, one of these umbrella lights. Boy, he goes crazy when there's a bug. He'll tear up Jack to get to that. Don G, I bet your grandmother never called herself eccentric. Have you noticed the true eccentrics are never? Oh, grandmother didn't think she was nothing but just, granny. Uh, yeah, you will meet her. She'll be there. Okay, y'all. I don't have a schedule. I don't have a script. I'm just off the cuff. I've always been that way. I say it like it is. I don't lie to you. Tell you the truth. I love you. If I tell you I don't like something you're doing, I'm being truthful. And I might get mad for a little bit, but it won't last long because by that time my mind's changed and I'm smiling at you and praying for you. If it's something that I can pray for you about, I just pray anyway. But y'all, I knew my pulse, just a little medical. I'm not going to put a bunch of this in here. Uh, I knew my pulse, y'all, after that, those things were banded. And before they found the cancerous tumor, I knew that my pulse for 2.5 years, because I had Hep C from the dentist. I took a drug called Epclusa. Some of you know of the drug. It's about $86,000. Thank God my insurance paid it because I'd be dead. That stopped the Hep C immediately, but boy, it'd like to kill me, the side effects. And so I just thought the pulse was the side effects from the medicine. Because about the time I finished that last pill, it's a 3 month, 2 month, I can't remember, regime. My pulse just went from 80 to 90 down to 45 to 50, low, sometimes 40. And I thought, well, I guess it's this drug. So along with that, think about this. Along with that, the pulse, makes you feel good when you have a good pulse. Your skin looks better. Your blood's flowing in your body. You can go to the bathroom. You can eat. There's all these things that I thought the drug had ruined me. I thought I don't really want to live. I thought I can't even, y'all, for 3 years I could not make a sentence without stammering, and I still stammer some, but before that I could talk at funerals, I could talk at church, I could talk on the street. After the Epclusa, I thought I might as well not even uh, give a thought to ever speaking at any funeral, an accolade or anything. So that's gone on since 2018. I think that's when I took the Eccentricity. So then, okay, back forward now. My pulse was still low. Did the procedure, all this work in here last on Monday, and then found the cancerous tumor on Wednesday, and found out it's going to be okay. And so that few days I was staying in the hospital, they come one night, they rushed in there, scared the shit out of me, putting air mask on me and everything. And so I thought, I don't know, I don't think my breathing, it may be 85 or something. Sometimes when I'm asleep due to the apnea, because I can't wear the mask they gave me, because it makes my nose bleed because my platelets are so low. I'm telling you all this because you may have something that you need to know from this. I don't know why I'm telling. Uh, Granny Pat says, okay, you and Bonnie make fun of me. Hi, Bonnie. Folks, I've met Bonnie in person. She's pretty. Yeah, y'all got to meet each other, didn't you, Granny Pat? I'm too far down. Everybody wants to come see you because you're way up there. I'll be up there one day, maybe for your birthday next year, if Jan gets that all put together. So, back to the story. I was afraid that this oxygen level thing had gotten out of hand this week. So this morning, it being Saturday, I called one of my doctor friends. I said, could you do an AKG? Because my pulse is 106. And I said, I never had a pulse of 106 since I was born. Oh, yes, go down. We're on a trip, or they go out on weekend into different places to eat and have fun. Her husband's a cardiologist, and she's just a regular PCP. So I went in, the nurse practitioner went through all this stuff, made me walk from here to Kingdom Come and measured my oxygen level, and it didn't go below 90. Maybe twice. It went to 88, something like that. And you need to have 95 or above, or they rush in. That's where I was a while ago when I saw Granny Pat's. They come in there and putting oxygen on me, and I had to sleep in it for 2 nights. It didn't bother me. And I don't think I slept any better because I've been noticing, y'all, that I wake up and then I can't go back to sleep. I mean, I think about y'all, I think about the YouTube, I think about what's going on, and I just can't go back to sleep. So I have to be really tired to go to sleep. Mom can sleep at the drop of a hat. So this morning, I probably slept last night 3 hours in all, going to sleep, waking up, going to sleep, waking up. So I told the doctor this. She said, well, do you have an apnea machine? I said, yeah, they gave me that thing, but I can't use it because it makes my nose bleed due to the platelets from the liver cirrhosis. So she said, well, there's a new thing called Aspire, I think. And it's like a heart, what do you call that? Pacemaker. It goes right here under your skin and it opens the nostril and the throat. And I'd kind of heard about it. So you don't never have to wear that old mask again. They put that in there, and she said every patient that I have suggested that got it and we got it approved, they have had restful night's sleep. And I was just kind of, after she explained it to me, I didn't realize how good it was. So she said, but I want you to have an oxygen test. They will call you this next week, and there'll be a thing they put on your finger, and you sleep overnight in it, and it'll measure your oxygen, and then we'll know. I said, okay, thank you so much. So I went to the farmer's market. I was going to show y'all that. I can go into the kitchen camera, but I don't have it set up because I was locked out of the house and running behind. But I got some squash and all that stuff, and that was a fun. We'll talk about that one day soon. So I told her, I said, well, I'll be waiting on their call because I said, this oxygen thing's got me floored. I said, but really, Keely, what's got me floored is this heart rate going way up. So Mother and I we lay down about 3 o'clock and take a little nap, Granny Pat. So I'm not mad at you for taking a nap. I think everybody needs to do that, especially if they don't sleep good at night. So I woke up, Mother's still asleep, and we put on a Don Knotts movie, which I had in my collection because I've got oodles of discs. And I hooked the DVR up in there, and I said, we'll watch Don Knotts, which is How to Frame a Fig. I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, but it is funny. And it's one of his that you can't hardly find. Might get it off of Amazon. So I started researching, y'all. I thought, I've got to figure this out because a PA hadn't figured it out. 6 4 to 6 doctors hadn't figured this out. I'm smarter than the average person. I'm going to figure this out today, maybe by tomorrow. So I started thinking, what have you done besides having the bandings of the blood vessels? Of course, I knew it wasn't finding out from the tumor caused me to feel so winded and my heart racing. So I asked Mother. She finally woke up. I said, Mother, how long have we been getting that shot? I'll tell you in a minute what it is. She said, yesterday we got it. I said, yes. She said, well, yesterday would be 4 weeks. And I looked, I couldn't find it in my calendar. So what it is, y'all, and this is so stupid on my part. I should have picked up on this, but it's so simple. I'm talking about 3 years ago. I should have picked up on this because it's been going on before the COVID came out. My doctor friend told my mother the same day, because we go in together, so I can hear her and she can hear. Said, Mother, she called her mother, your B12 is low, so I want to give you a shot. And I said, do I need that? And she said, yeah, I'll give you one too. I don't think yours is low. We haven't checked it that I know of. I can't find it, because I've changed several physicians trying to figure this stuff out. So it's B12. We've had it for a month now. Think about this. And I think that's why my pulse has gone back normal, because if you are low on B12, it makes you not have a good breath. It makes your pulse low, sometimes high, and I had gone through Papa's medical journals looking for everything from hemochromatosis to, cancer. I mean, there was so much that I had researched. I've got stacks just like my recipes. But it's got to be the B12 that has caused this pulse rate. David, if you get to watch this, message me, because you would know, could this happen? I don't think it has nothing to do with the blood loss or the cancer or anything. I think it's been B12 deficiency all along. And we'll see, but like a while ago. So they took me off propanol, which is kind of like metoprolol. Some of y'all probably take that, because it was knocking my heart rate down to 40. And I need the propanol, y'all, for the liver. It keeps the fluid. It keeps you from getting all in trouble. So today my pulse rate was 104. I took a half propanol and my regular medicine after I got back from that doctor, and my pulse went down below 105, so I didn't feel that, so I got it down to 77, 78. That's perfectly normal. So I am so happy, y'all, because I didn't know what was going on. I knew all this was going on, but I didn't understand why it was happening. So that's my take on it for now. Let me look here. Granny Pat, okay. Donna G, how are they going to treat your cancer? It's going to be let me see. It's the one that's I asked about last night on the show, and then I've been texting with doctors all over trying to figure it out. Thank God I have good friends like y'all, but I've made a pathway of friends and treated them right, and they know that if I ask them a question, if I message them, it's not just some junk, I've got a lot on my Facebook Messenger that are movie people's accounts. I don't message them unless I had a question. Some of them we just see each other's stories or whatever. Because I have Just Me Billie Jean account on Facebook. Then I have my other personal account for my family and close friends. Let me see. Where is hold on. There's David. Okay. It is, no, that's not it. The cancer is, if they're going to do it, who asked? I like to talk to her. I can't find it. Well, hi, David. Good to see you. I just told a story. You have to go back and watch it and tell me if you think this B12 could have been affecting me for years with my pulse rate. So you'll just have to watch back if you didn't get in on it. Radio frequency ablation is how they're going to take that cancer out. They're not going to use TACE, TARE, SBRT, uh, ablative or resection, because I think that resection could be a chance for blood. Now my platelets are already low, so I was bad when I heard they're going to take one probe and one probe, and this machine does all that, but they can treat kidney cancer now with that same machine. So I just thought it was amazing, you know. Uh, I'm kind of, I would like to ask the doctor about that splenic embolization due to portal hypertension, because it shows on my labs, David, and everybody, that I do have some of that, and that's what caused these things to blow up. Now, that was the scariest thing I ever had happen to me in my life, seeing all that blood. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I'd died. That's all I knew. Uh, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. What's the benefits of B12? Should I try it? Let me explain something to you. My sister and I was talking today. She's there, but sometime I wonder if the elevator hits the top floor. She has took so many vitamins all her life. Oh, she'll argue with a stump post. Uh, but she wanted the B12. Well, I had some of the liquid B12, just under the tongue. I said, "Here, take it. You can have it. Come down here and get it. You can have it." Because mother and I are getting shots now. We don't need it. Well, that'll cure me. I told my sister, I said, I have researched this for the past 6 hours, and I am not so sure. You can research it too, all of you, but unless you get it in shot form, you're not getting the full benefit. And I think that's what I was doing, D. That's why I'm glad you brought that up, because that was another part of my brain that kind of flunked out there. I was taking that under the tongue every day, but I saw uh, it not doing one thing to me. But these are shots we get right here. Don't hurt. Wonderful. But that's why I think my sister said, "Well, you was taking B12." I said, "Yeah, but it wasn't a shot." So, David, you might chime in. Is that the only way you can truly get B12 is through injection? So, but yeah, I think you should get it checked. I've had mine checked and it was low, but they kind of didn't say much about it. But I know now that's got to be it, y'all. We figured this out, y'all. Uh, Let me go up here. I've got to get on up here. Let's see, where are we? Okay, I'm trying. David said, "I just joined too late. We have to rewatch." Yeah, you do. I was going to text you today about this, but I'm glad you came on. I didn't want to bother you. You're right. I have B12 deficiency. Debbie Sue, do you have the heart and the lung and all that? Chime in. Granny Pat takes B12 liquid. Now, Granny Pat, you just heard what I said. I thought you were getting a shot at the physician's office, though. Uh, Debbie Sue says she has to take monthly B12 injections, sometimes twice a month. You're doing the right thing, what I'm thinking. I'm not a medical. My stepdad was. He knew about all this, but I just think it might save the world, because the way I was feeling, y'all, I wasn't so sure if I wanted to even tackle anything else. I would, because of Mama, though. Bunny Allen says, "Hi, Granny Pat, Mama, Billie Jean. Hi, Dee. I'm so happy to see Billie Jean doing so well tonight. Y'all can tell I'm better. It's that B12. Now, I'm telling you, I ain't felt this good since I was 12 years, 50, 20 years old, maybe 30. I've had an energy day. I went out and watered the flowers. I did this, did that, and look what I've been through. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, plus I walked around that farmer's market. I met people. I met, I've met some great people we're going to have for interviews. One little old man that makes his own barbecue sauce. He is famous. If he's not, I'm going to make him famous because he knows what he's doing. I don't know if y'all watch my barbecue recipe, but it's very similar to his. He bottles his, and his name is well known, but I'm not going to say it right now until we get ready to. Bonnie outside, I think B12 will kind of pick you up. Bonnie, it made my hair turn blonde and curly. I feel so much better I could just scream. Will they biopsy the cancer? No, Donna, they're not, because they know that it's cancerous. They know David could, he says correct, BG, but they said there's no need in it. It's only a half inch. But if I hadn't had all this go wrong, I'd have never got that scan, even though I knew I had cirrhosis. See, the way I did it is I had a doctor, and he was kind of a smart ass, and he didn't really want to listen. And, I'm one of those, you better listen. I'll listen to you, but and it may take me forever to get around the chicken house to get back to the barn. But he wouldn't listen. He just, like the Epclusa, he prescribed it through my PCP, and I didn't want to mess with him. He seemed very arrogant. I don't like arrogant people like that. And he knew everything, which I don't know everything, but, I think you should listen to your patients. I think that's the difference in Pawpaw. He would listen to those people and care about them, and, that's what you got to have. So he came in the other day and said, I said, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to tell y'all what I said. I don't want you on my case. I said, I was not happy with you before COVID, and I'm still not happy with you. Well, he's got a new little flippy tail girl, and I got to know her, and I like her. She's a assistant to him. She's a nurse practitioner. I think she's got more up here than he does. But, when you live in the country, you try to go to whoever you can go to without having to drive into Dallas, drive into Houston, drive into, So I told her, yeah, I'll try this. And so if it had been him possibly doing the ablation, the radio frequency ablation, I would have probably wanted to go to Dallas or somewhere, because I don't want him touching me. I just got mad at him, and then COVID came along. So that's one reason why I said if I hadn't had this bleeding incident, I would have never got it checked, because I didn't have a hepatologist any longer. It went from like 2018 then to COVID, and I stopped. I took the Eccentricity, I got over the Hep C, it cured me, and I stopped. And there was a way that God must have worked in that, because I probably just kept on going, and they'd have found this when it was a little bit smaller, maybe. But I didn't. And so I feel like it's all just working out. What do you do? Just do what you can do. Remember what I've told y'all in every video from the time I'm doing the best that I can. Now, I can say with a smile, I'm doing the best that I can, and I feel wonderful. The B12, if you need B12, you better get it, because David says, okay, D, let me go D. Okay, I just moved, so I need to find a new doctor in my town. I'll ask about it. Yeah, get them to check it. David says, if you can't absorb B12 in the stomach, only a shot will work. Well, I think I researched some of that earlier today, and I've got it in my notes. I think I had kind of the leaky gut kind of thing, and I don't think my stomach was absorbing B12, even if it was liquid, because this has just changed my life. And I mean, I'm so happy about it. I hadn't felt this good for years. Debbie Sue says, yes, I have a regular heartbeat, low pulse rate, lung problem. Check your B12. Remember, y'all, I told y'all those heart palpitations were driving me crazy? Well, they've quit. They've quit since I've been getting these shots. They quit after maybe the first. I think Mother and I talked about it. I got the pharmacist to give me the shot. And I think I told Mother that was like on a Wednesday. And by Saturday, I said, Mother, those heart palpitations stopped. Not thinking, not using my brain because I couldn't. I think that's helped my brain too. Yeah, I did Google it. Let's see here. Cancer is such a complex disease that I thought they would need to find out what kind of cancer it is. It's the carcinoma. David, you know. I had it written down here. It's carcinoma. I can't remember the first part of it. But it's, we know I have it, but they're going to take care of it in maybe a week. Something like that. It's to get it out. I knew yesterday something had changed. You're full of energy. You know, I saw y'all post about that I felt like I was full of energy. And I thought, Lord, yeah, this pulse rate has just got me going crazy. I feel like I'm on like not a Valium. I never liked drugs or nothing, but, you know, I had to take them occasionally for a procedure and I'd feel kind of high. And that's the way I feel, but I've not taken anything new. So that's why I started researching. I knew it had to be, well, you know, Chit Chat, Granny Pat said, I got 4 shots. Bonnie, I'm going to get me some. Get it checked, Bonnie. Make sure you need it. Well, I don't think it hurt you, would it? David's my sounding board. He's a good friend. I've just known him from here, but he's helped me so much. Thank you, David. I appreciate you more than anybody will ever know. I pray for you every day, all of you. Y'all brought my life back because I was feeling so down and depressed, and I'd cook that food, and but after that first video, I decided this is what I want to do. Finally, do something. David says, oh, Bonnie, let me go, Bonnie. I hate to be stupid, but what does the little crowns mean? The little crowns? Well, I spit on myself. If you find out, would you tell me? I don't know what crowns you're talking about. Do I have them on? I still don't know what you're saying. I don't know what crowns. I don't know about no crowns. Little crowns, I mean. I don't know. Okay, David says, in the setting of cirrhosis and history of hep C, the radiology is characteristic. Okay. Well, it's associated with, that's the word, y'all. Here it is on the screen. It's associated with hepatocellular carcinoma. That's what they tell me that I do have. Don G says, great seeing you feeling so good and optimistic. Bonnie Allen, okay, I will. Granny Pat, did it pick you up? I don't know, Granny Pat. She's had that little arthritis thing, so I think it probably did. But Granny Pat's kind of passe, as we'd say in French. She just goes and happy-go-lucky. So Kitty says, hi, Billie Jean. Glad to see you. Yikes, what an ordeal. It's been hell, Kitty. It's been hell. Bonnie Allen, I think maybe the crowns are for the people who comment the most. I don't see any crowns. I thought you meant was I wearing a crown. I thought, no, I'm not that royal. And David says the reason that whoever asked the question, it was Donna G, I think, they don't need to biopsy it because it's the carcinoma is just followed. He said, if you did not have cirrhosis, it's going to answer your question. If you didn't have cirrhosis, you need the biopsy. But since I already have cirrhosis, it's a long-standing that you have that same carcinoma. It's just, I guess, like they tell me, David, a half an inch is not bad. Get it out of there. So I'm thankful God saved my life from bleeding. Those 5 varices that broke apart, because I wouldn't have known about this, like I've told you a while ago. That just is scary thinking about, you know, I had those veins, and that doctor, see, I was worried that the pulse rate was because the veins were leaking. And the doctor that did the scope said it looked like, and I don't know how he knows. I haven't got the photographs of those yet. I don't know. I don't mind looking at them. Uh, Chit chat. I'm fine now. These things don't keep me down. Yeah, Granny, she's positive. You know, we talk. Granny, we got to talk soon because people think that we're mad at each other, and we're not at all. It's just that she's had a lot going on. I've had a lot going on. Usually it was with mother, but when that last Saturday when that hit me. So today has been 1 week since that last Saturday afternoon when I came in from that cooking store. I'd have never, and thank God, y'all, I wasn't down there in the middle of that store and all that happened. God was what I would have just, even though I was about dead, I'd have been so embarrassed I'd have probably tried to crawl out the back door. No, don't call the ambulance. Let me crawl out the back door because I don't want nobody to know that I had this spell here. And took my pots and pans and come on. But I drove myself, so I don't think I could have because I kept waking up and passing out, waking up, passing out. Thank God Mother found that little girl. We still don't know who that girl is. It came down the road and found me. Or found Mother, and she called the 911. Granny Pet says I talk more than she does. Well, you just wait till next in 2 weeks when I get the other B12 shot. Then we'll see who can talk the most. I bet I can come up with some ringtail tutor stories. See, my brain wasn't working, Granny Pat. But I'm glad that it is. I'm glad to be here on Saturday with y'all. I'll show you. Oh, I was going to show y'all. Let me see if I can switch this. See, I'm trying to learn these things. Here's my pineapple, my baby pineapple. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. There it is. See that baby pineapple? I told y'all the Lord was watching out when I came last night and I saw that baby pineapple in that big old plant. It's held up by rebar because it's heavy. Y'all, that thing is probably 5 feet tall. And then I've got it in an urn vase. I think probably in the urn vase. I do. So that's the pineapple. And I'll tell y'all more about the farmer's market. It was good today. I'll show you the new setup in the kitchen, the camera and all that. I've got it working without any wires. And we've been on here nearly an hour. And usually I stop at 30 minutes. But I just had a lot to talk about. If you take B12, you will too. Yay, the pineapple D said. My sister that lives out of town in the country, when I called her and told her, I just text messaged you, you're not going to believe that plant that I've been babying for 4 years finally had a baby. Donna. Okay, y'all. I've got to go check on Mom. I can't just let her sit in there. She's doing something. Donna says, I think you and Granny Pat are as tough as a $2 steak. That's probably about true. We won't never see those days again. You might as well. I don't eat red meat any longer. When I heard the pineapple story, I thought that's a sign. It was, Kitty, it was. They stand for hospitality, but in your case, divine intervention. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Yeah, Bonnie, thank you for reminding me. I don't remember how to tell these people, please hit my like button. Please subscribe. Please do whatever you have to because I need more followers. It brings a little more money in. Not much. I get about $120, $130. So it does help though. I buy my spices and if I need some kitchenware, some of the gifts I use, but And people ask me all the time, "Well, do you make money off that?" Yeah, only from the ads. I think last month's check, they just put it in your bank account, it was $98, and they don't pay you until you get $100. So I had to wait the next month, and finally it was like $198. So it's not a lot, but it sure helps. Uh, Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad I'm doing well too. We've got a lot to talk about, and D, of course, I shop on Amazon. I've got that Amazon Prime, and while I was in the hospital, of course, Mother couldn't deliver. Or I wouldn't ask her to. I needed some razors because I'm one of those that keep my face. You know, I had Walmart delivery because I've got the Walmart delivery and I've got the Amazon. So I started that right after COVID. They just brought the groceries, put them here on the steps, and yeah, I like Amazon. Why do you ask, D? You need something? D's the one that gave me the money for my bread, my dough mixer. Oh, that's that good one, that blue handled one from the Pioneer Woman that lives up past in Oklahoma, up way up there. Granny Pat, think about what you just said. She said it will keep you in postage stamps. What have I told you about my stepdad and the stamp? I've got probably $10,000 worth of stamps, y'all, in those little packages. That's why when I had the first giveaway, trying to get my channel up and started, is why y'all got those big boxes with 500 stamps on them, because I'm using them. I'm not selling them. Nobody wants them. You can. The post office has to stand behind it from 19. Some of those stamps that I mailed y'all stuff in was, I started at the first of the box and it was 1930 something. So it took a lot of 2-cent stamps. But I'm still going to do that every time that I mail y'all something. And if I have auctions, I've decided I can sell stuff at a good price. If y'all like antiques, little tchotchkes and stuff, because I can give you free postage. I'm not going to charge for it because I've got all those stamps. I will never use all those stamps if I sold everything in this house. I've got too many and I'm sick of wagging them around. Yeah, delivery is another godsend. I love it too. Jan sent me a Kroger delivery. Oh, that'll be great for you, Granny Pat. You don't have to go down there. Okay, D. It said I need to do another giveaway. I want anything of yours. Well, it'll be that, probably that Dolly Parton cookware that I still got some left over from. They've contacted me, people, and I just give it to y'all. I don't like those cutting boards. I did keep those. These teeth are getting crazy in my mouth today. My, you know what? I shouldn't have said the word. And I'm dribbling. God, they're going to put me in a nursing home. So I'll do a giveaway. I've got, y'all just do not know. Literally, you do not understand. I cleaned out one antique cabinet that is French. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. It's hand inlaid wood with zebra wood. It's a desk that lets down. It's got china all up above, glass doors. I had that stock packed with Wedgwood, Waterford, Lalique, Steuben, Sabino. Then the bottom part, I had all kinds of glass candle drip holders and stuff that I will never use again. So I put it all in laundry baskets. I didn't know what else to do. I was not going to sit here and wrap that. I thought if it breaks, it'll break. I just stuck it down in there, and not one piece is broke. Wait a minute. Wrap my Christmas gift in the stamps. I'm not. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Chris. Oh, y'all. Should I tell her? I mean, Granny Pat, should I tell her? She wants one of my paintings. And I told her she could have it. But I've got to get to where I can. It's got to be packaged right. It's a watercolor, and it's pretty big. And I just can't. Y'all, I got that something in my mouth. That I think it's kitty cat. On one of this some way. I don't know how I got that. I told her I would let her have one of these paintings because she's my dear friend. I love her to death. I've got too much stuff, but I've got to wrap it. Yeah, I've got the postage. You don't have to worry about nothing. Okay, y'all, I've got to get off here. We have been on 1 hour and 1 minute, so that means we've got to stop this. Might come on tomorrow, might come on Monday, whenever. I need to get the video uploaded of the flowers outside because they're absolutely divine. And my front porch is solid sweet potato vine. It is about ready to come in the door. It's ringing the doorbell. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.